What up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, once again up in this mug, you know what I'm saying? And this video is an AEW centered video. It's mostly about Tony Khan and Mercedes Mone, also known as Sasha Banks. But, you know, it's broadly about AEW, right? So, rumor has it, so I've read somewhere, that apparently Sasha Banks has been given creative control by Tony Cook, all right? Now, that's just, number one, it's a bad idea, period, right? It's just a bad idea to give the employee control of any sort of the business, especially control that cannot be revoked, control that is, I don't know, contracted for or something, right? That's not good. Now, beyond the stupidity of just generally giving anyone creative control, which is basically why WCW failed, but I digress, it's also really dumb to give creative control to Sasha Banks. Namely because we have no evidence at all that Sasha Banks is someone that deserves creative control, right? What exactly did Sasha Banks do to deserve creative control, right? What creativity has Sasha Banks showed us with the limited amount of, opportunity she's been given already to prove that she deserves creative control? Now, I understand Sasha Banks, in many ways, Sasha Banks is a very admirable young lady, She reminds me a lot of Kim Kardashian in the sense that these are people that, generally speaking, the world doesn't think very highly of, right? In terms of, people don't really think that they have a lot of talent, but they are savvy broads who have made a lot of money by leveraging the talents they do have, right? Sasha Banks' talent is more so in her ability to sell herself, same with Kim Kardashian, honestly, than it is in her ability to be a good wrestler, because she's not a good wrestler, I saw a video from Eric Bischoff, and he's like, Sasha Banks shouldn't have a microphone, but she's a good in-ring worker. No, she isn't. What the hell is Eric Bischoff talking about? Sasha Banks is not a good in-ring worker. Sasha Banks botches every 3 moves. Do you remember the Banks statement, right? It was often preceded by a backstabber, right? I mean, it kind of was a backstabber then into a crossface, right? But the backstabber always looked like shit. She did it, then she rolled backwards, and it's why wouldn't the other person just get out of the way? Why is she just letting Sasha Banks do this to her? It's just, Sasha Banks is not good, is the point. But nevertheless, that doesn't really change the reality that she has been able to convince people that she is, right? Which honestly is a much better skill, and it's a much more lucrative skill than being good at wrestling. Being good at wrestling never got anybody anywhere, honestly, if you really think about it, right? Being good at anything is not good enough. I'll give you a great example, motherfucks. So we have, earlier today, Cristiano Ronaldo started his YouTube channel, right? And he already has, at this point, probably he's got 10 million viewers. 10 million subs, right? Cristiano Ronaldo is an excellent soccer player, right? And I'm a Cristiano Ronaldo guy. But with all that being said, I think we all know at this point that Messi is the superior player, right? And I fucking hate Messi. But the truth is the truth, right? But if Messi started a soccer YouTube, or any kind of YouTube, really, right? Nobody would really give a fuck. Of course, he'd get millions of subs. But Ronaldo would get more, right? There's a reason why, is going to get more money. For example, David Beckham is going to get more money than, I don't know, Franz Beckenbauer, right? It is what it is, right? There's certain attributes, the ability to sell yourself and to portray yourself as cool is much more marketable than any actual skill you've got. My perfect and favorite example of this is, of course, none other than Gordon Ramsay, right? I'm sure Gordon Ramsay is an excellent chef, right? But who cares about that, right? The majority of his money has been made being on TV and being a TV chef. So, you see what I'm saying? Sasha Banks is on that same level in the sense that she's not good at wrestling, but apparently, as the rumors would dictate, Tony Khan is paying her $5 million a year, which is insane. Hulk Hogan doesn't deserve $5 million a year. Are you kidding me? Sasha Banks would never drew a dime. Every match she has basically is going to be a few $100,000. I mean, what the hell is that all about? That makes no sense up in this piece. But anyways, it is what it is. If she was able to convince Tony Khan to pay her $5 million, then good for her. I can't even hate her on that, The onus then falls on Tony Khan for being a stupid cuck and allowing these things to happen. Because if he didn't allow it to happen, then we wouldn't even be in the situation, right? On the other side of the coin, as far as I understand it, the other side of the rumor is that AEW is basically financially fucked, right? As the hater has been saying since day one of the hater channel, AEW doesn't draw a dime, right? Let's call it like it is. The Olympics, shut the fuck up. Like, the Olympics didn't hamper anything else, right? It's not like any other sport that there's not many sports in the summer, but it's not like anything else, any programming. Like, I don't think Monday Night Raw was affected by the Olympics, right? I don't think SmackDown was affected by the Olympics. I don't think fucking Amazing Race was affected by the Olympics, because why would it be, right? All of these things, like the Olympics is during the day. Wrestling is at night. So I don't understand, like, even the logic is just baffling. They're like, the Olympics are on, so everything's going to get lower ratings. Well, everything that is at the same time, that is on at the same time as the Olympics, right? Nothing is on at like 9 p.m. because the Olympics took place in France. And in France, 9 p.m. is like midnight. So if there is, it's some bullshit. It's like, archery, like from the mountaintop or some shit like that. Some sport that nobody even knows. Right? Nobody's watching that. If you're a wrestling fan, you're not going to go watch like some bullshit like Olympic sport instead of watching wrestling. That's just silly. It's a silly argument, right? Maybe if it's like, if it's like the men's basketball, gymnastics, swimming, running, that's it. Beyond that, nobody gives a flying fuck. Like most people can't list all the sports in the Olympics. They can't even list 10 sports. So enough, right? But during this time, AEW has fallen in dire straits. They're pretty much fucked, right? They're trying to find another deal, I think, because the TNT deal is almost up, and ain't no way they're going to get renewed, because TNT probably is like, oh, wait a second, I could show, like, remember there was this show with like Morris Chestnut? He plays like some coroner, right? It lasted for like half a season. Like, that probably drew more than AEW, you know what I mean? So like, it's just not working out. The production budget for AEW is significant, right? It rivals that of an actual TV show. It should be way cheaper because there's just like fewer people to pay, right? Because, when producing like a TV show, for example, you have to pay Morris Chestnut, right? Now, Morris Chestnut is not going to do it for $5 million a year. He'll do it for like $200,000 a year probably, you know what I mean? Like, because he's not like a big actor or anything like that. But there's all this like production crew, the editing, the equipment, everything else. And like, AEW should cost less, and AEW also has like has one more revenue stream in like the actual merchandise they sell, because there's no like Dr. House t-shirts, right? And there's no live audience, so they have other revenue streams. So the business model should work much better, but it doesn't. I mean, it does, obviously. Like, if you're drawing 6 million people, of course it works. But if you're drawing 600,000 people, then of course it's not going to work. Nobody's going to give a flying fuck. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure AEW is done. Now, like, when I say done, I don't mean like they're dead, right? But this is like a critical juncture in the history of AEW. What I believe is going to happen is, like, you remember when AJ Styles left TNA? Like, that's what's going to happen, right? Maybe it won't be as severe, but basically, like they're going to get like a shittier TV deal. And then, because a lot of people put that on AJ Styles leaving, but it's not just AJ Styles. They also like went from TV to like Access TV, which like 3 people got. Like, I stopped watching TNA because I couldn't watch TNA anymore, right? I had like premium cable, but they're like, oh, do you have America TV? And I'm like, no, I don't have. Nobody has America TV. They're like, oh, that's where TNA is. Same thing's going to happen to AEW. They're not going to go to America TV. They might be demoted to like UPN or whatever the fuck. They might be demoted to something else. But the idea is fewer eyeballs are going to go. And as a result, it's just like, I'll use a soccer example, right? When a team is relegated in soccer, right, a lot of the good players leave. They're like, oh, I'm not playing in the B League. I'm an A-League player. My team sucked, but I'm an A-League player. And likewise, when a team gets promoted, they get more money and they're able to like purchase newer players that are A-level players. Like, I was watching like one of the soccer games, and there's a team called Como from Italy. I never even heard of them before, right? And I was watching the game, I'm like, oh, one of their players is this guy called Andrea Bellotti, right? And I'm like, he's actually pretty good. Like, I mean, he's not like a star, but he's definitely above B level, right? And I'm like, wait, he plays for them? And then, I realized, oh, they just got promoted. So it's the same thing, right? So basically, when like Jericho leaves, when everybody that's not beholden to a contract leaves and they go elsewhere, you're going to find some of them in the indies. Some of them might go to WWE and so forth and so forth. But then eventually, like, when MJF leaves, it's going to be a wrap, right? Like, this company is, like, it can exist forever, but it's just not going to be this mega success. And I think everybody knows, like, if you look at the status of AEW today and compared to the status of AEW yesterday, we all know that the hype when AEW started does not reflect where they are today, right? Everybody that was an AEW fan, except for, of course, the hater, would have said 5 years ago, AEW in 5 years will be rivaling WWE. And that's not what happened. Cucks.